Subpart D, General Segregation Requirements 176A, the applicable subpart of the set forth of the segregation requirements addition with the segregation requirements set forth elsewhere in the subchapter has material limited with the quantity with the weight load with the transport rate, view with the freight contained with the expect, except for the segregation requirement of the subpart and the additional segregations of the subchapter transfer with by the vessel express with the article of the division 1-4 with the compatible with the group S shall not be shown with the same compartment that hold with the cargo transport unit of the hazard material of the class 1 compatible group so 1L. 17683, segregation. General, all the requirements of section 11 of the cargo space for the deck, for the underdeck, for all the types of vessel, all the cargo transport unit. Segregation is obtained with the maintainment of a certain distance between the incompatible that has material by requirements of one or more steel bulkheads of the decks between them. The combination thereof of the intervening with the space between the hazard material that may be filled with the other cargo which is not compatible with the hazard material. General requirements for the segregation between the various class for the dangerous goods are shown with the segregation table in addition to the general requirements that may be segregate the particular material with the other material that would be contributed with the hazard sales segregation are indicated with the code of the number of the column 10B with the section 172.101. Table segregation is not required between hazard material. The difference between the compromise something is variable, vary only with the water content. For example, sodium sulfide division 4-2 for the class A with the quantity of the class 7 materials between the hard material of the different class over the compromise of the group substance for the roof with the with each other. The following materials are grouped with the compatibility. Hydrogen peroxide aqueous solution will not left than 8% of the left and 20% of the hydrogen peroxide stable with the necessary hydrogen peroxide with the solution will not left than 20% and no more than 40% of the hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide solutions will not be more than 40% of the no more than 60% hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, peroxide, acidic, and mixture with the stabilized with the acids of water, no more than 5% of the peroxylic acid. Organic oxide type D with liquid organic acid. Peroxide type 1, E liquid and organic peroxide type F liquid. This chlorinaceline, silicone tetrachloride, trichloride, saline, organic material. Substance solid with pyroperific organometallic substance liquid pyroperific organometallic substance solid with pyroperific water reaction organic metallic substance liquid and pyroperific water reacts with organic metallic substance and solid water reacts with organic metallic substance and solid water reacts with flammable and organometallic substance and solid water reacts with self-heating of the organic metallic substance liquid. Water after the organometallic substance liquid water reacts with flammable the organometallic substance of the solid self-heating. Whatever the half of the material is shown for the torque, whatever the not in cargo transport, the utility, unit segregation, show for the hazard material, otherwise must always go according to the flow, show for the restricted requirements of any of the hazard material of the concern. Part 172, 101, table of 172, 402 for the requirements of the package. B subsidiary hazard material labeled the segregation. Purpose of the subsidiary hazard must be applied with the segregation more restricted than the required for the primary hazard for the purpose of the paragraph. Segregation requirements correspond with the name of the subsidiary hazard for the except for the organic peroxide that is over the corresponding 1-3 but over the 1-4 explosive materials. When the purpose of segregation, the terms of each way with a particular hazard of the class of the even 172-101 table of segregation requirements applied. All hazard material within the hazard class, a hazard material of the which for the secondary hazard labeled with the class required. Notwithstanding the requirements of paragraph A6 with the A7 with the section has material with the same class may be stowed together without regard. Segregation required with the secondary has a subsidiary risk of label to provide substance do not react with dangerously with each other. The cause. The combination of the evolution with the cerebral heat, the situation of the evolution of flammable toxic asphyxiating gas, the formation corrosive and substance, the formation of unstable substance, storage in the shelter between the deck with the cargo space not considered beyond deck storage. 10. When the wood condition of the 10B with the 172 101 table plus of the segregation is 4 for the apply of the segregation requirements applicable to that class, the 176 83 with the general segregation table must be applied, however, for the purpose of the paragraph 8 section of the permanent subname with the same class storage together, provided that they do not react dangerously with each other. The segregation requirements class representing the primary half of the class of 172-101 table entry must be applied. Certain exemption of the segregation with the cyanide waste in the cyanide mixture with the solution transport with the acid waste, the division 4-2 material transported, class 8 liquid waste, division 6-1 packaging, group 1 hazard material transported. With the waste of the class 3 material for the class 8 liquid division 41424355152 material set forth in 17312 E with the subchapter general segregation for the following table set forth in general requirements segregation between the various unless the division has for the class certain divisions are lifted separate head of the class for the purpose for the table 2-1-2-2 of the properties material of which each of the class are very great or they may require the greater segregation will reflect with the table of 172-101 table show the particular requirements of the segregation that take precedence over the general requirements. Then it shows the chart. Segregation, the requirements of the break bulkhead cargo, the requirements of the paragraph apply with the segregation packet contained by the hazard materials over the bulk cargo. The definition of the segregation in terms of leak package containing the incompatible goods reference package, deck restraint away from the electrical segment of the incompatible materials. Contact interjack the danger of the event of the accident may be carried within the same compartment. The whole of the deck will provide with the minimum horizontal separation, 10 feet with the projection vertical is obtained. Separated from the indifferent with the compartment of the whole of the stove of the under the deck, the intervening deck with the restraint with the fire liquid vertical separation direct compartments acceptable equivalent segregation for the deck stove to the segregation meaning the separation of the distance at least 20 feet horizontally. Separate the compartment with the whole from the either vertically or horizontal separation. The intervening deck that are not resistant to the fire with the liquid only with the longitudinal separation by intervening with the compartment the comparison for the whole acceptable for the deck. The segregation means the separation distance at least 39 feet with the horizontal same distance must be applied with the package stove on the deck and the other one with the upper compartment. And this shows here a little diagram. Note one of the two decks must be resistant to fire or liquid. Separate lines issue with the intervening with the complete with the compartment the whole of them from vertical separation along with the do not requirement between the pack of the under deck with the one over the deck for the missed distance of 79 feet included with the complete with the compartment must be maintained longitudinal for the deck so for the segregation meaning the separation distance of at least 24 feet and 79 feet longitudinal. Segregation cargo transport true have the material to which for the segregation required may not be stowed in the same cargo transport. Segregation will have the material so to break bulk cargo from those package and cargo transport unit that has material that is over the break bulk with the cargo must be separated with the materials cargo and open cargo with the transport unit. According to the paragraph C with this section, has material stowed in the break bulk cargo that can be segregated with materials parts packed with the closed cargo transport. And according to the paragraph C with this section, except that we're away from the required no segregation between the pack with the closed cargo transport unit is required. When separated from the required segregation between the package of the closed cargo transport unit by the same way with the segregation cargo transport units aboard containing vessels, except for the hatchless containing the ship with the paragraph apply with the segregation cargo transport units for the carriage of the board container vessels and or on other type of the vessel provided these cargo space for the properly fit permanent stores contained during the transport. For container method vessels which are cargo space for the break bulk with the cargo at any of the methods stored with the appropriate paragraph at the end of this section apply with the relevant cargo space. Are your segregation table 176A3F of the set forth in general requirements of segregation between the cargo transport unit, the board, container vessels, and table 176A3F container the space beneath the distance not less than 20 feet and warrant IF not less than 8 feet of wall at worship. And they show another chart, and I don't do the charts or indexes, but I will read the codes for you. Segregation cargo transport board trailer ship train ship the requirements of the paragraph apply within the segregation transport unit are carried on board a trailer ship the train ship with the roll on roll off the cargo space with the trailer ship the train ship with the shaft stave places suitable for the break bulk cargo with any other message over the appropriate paragraph of the section apply with the relevant cargo space. Segregation table 176A3G set forth in general requirements for the segregation between the transport unit the board trailer ship and train ships. Segregation of the board carrying the vessel of the requirement of the section with apply with the segregation ship to board with the power ship as well with the segregation between the ship and the barges carried on board vessels specified design equipped with the carrier of such barge with the bearing carrying the vessel incorporated of their storage space for the aim of the method storage barge contain the hazardous material that must be segregated with the hazardous material and not stowed within barrage prescribed in paragraph B through J of this section. Segregation shipboard barges with hazardous material transported in shore shipborne barges must be separated with the prescribed in the A B section. Segregation between the shipborne barge of the boring barge carrying vessel one shipborne barge of is located with the two more that has material within different requirements of segregation. The most stringent applicable of segregation requirements must be applied. Away from separated with from the required no segregation between ship barges. Barge carrying vessel with a vertical with a separated with a complete with a compartment the whole from the means that separated the whole with the requirements on barge carrying the vessel to have the horizontal barrier level with separated with the barge level the required with the barge should not be in the same vertical line. Separate longitudinal aim with the intervening with the complete with the compartment the whole of the mean for the barge and carrying with the vessel the vertical hold is separated with the intervening hold of the engine room and is required with the barge and carry valve with the horizontal barge level separate with the barge level with the longitudinal separation, but at least two intervening with the barge vessels are required. Segregation requirements for ferry vessels when operating lead the passenger with the cargo vessel they cannot provide separation required the section must cover the compatible hazard material with the separate the transport vehicles if they are stowed given the maximal possible segregation. Segregation contained on board with the hatch of the open top of the container ship in the paragraph of the live with the segregation cargo tank with the units over the transport with the board has lifted on the container ship with the board for the cargo space with the properly fitted for the give the permanent storage for the cargo transport unit during transportation. For the container ship they have the both latch Capsules contain space with the other space suitable with the break bulk with dimensional container stored in any other method so that the appropriate requirements for the section apply with the relevant cargo space. Segregation table, the table 176A3113 with the tab 4th and general requirements segregation cargo transport unit with the board hatch lift the container ship. And table 176A313 with the container space means distance of not less than 20 feet with the fore aft no less than 8 feet or aft warship. Prevent segregation group, the purpose of the segregation, the material they have certain similar with the chemical property group of the segregation group, such as the acid chloride, the permanent gave, the the allocation of each of these group they include the substance identified with the section 314 for the Dangerous Maritime Code. When the column number 10 of the 172.101, the table of the numbers show with provision set forth in 176.84b with the over the solid away with the for the particular shows in segregation requirements apply to the materials over the allocated respect to the segregation group. Not all hazardous material falling over the segregation group is listed main with the regulation material with the ship down with the non-entry with the although the non-entry they are not lifted themselves above the group of the person who would offer the hazardous material with the transportation must be decided by the allocation on with the segregation group that is appropriate. Segregation group is described the non-driven material with the fall outside of the classification criteria of the material regulation, although recognized that some non-hazardous material have certain the chemical properties similar to the hazardous material listed in segregation group as person other than hazardous material with the transportation and personal responsibility of the packaged material cargo transfer unit. They have knowledge of the chemical parties type of non-hazardous material that identify the relevant segment group that apply with the segregation requirements of the segregation group. 7684 other requirements over the cargo handling segregation cargo vessel, the passenger vessel. General of the column 10B with the set was set in 172.101 the table for the numbered alphanumeric storage provision, the warship, and the meaning of the requirements of the provision, the fourth set forth in terms of qualification, meaning that marked defined in 176A3, the other term of the table of the section, associated with the acid chlorides from the permanent gave the indicate the different chemical group is referred to the segregation group materials falling in the segregation group of the consider they have a certain similar with the chemical properties although not excessive with the nature of the materials being long to each group they include the substance identified in the section 314 in International Maritime Dangerous Good Codes table of provisions and then they show the table of provisions. Person of the stove of the class 1 is both the materials go of the substance of the glove of the article that must be the stove in the corner of the column 10A with the column B with the 172.101 table of the subchapter. The following note with the column 10B with the 172.101 table apply with the transport class as well as materials of vessels. Subpart E, special requirements transport vehicles loaded with the hazardous material of the transport and board for air vessels. Testing.